We'll call this meeting, the March 3rd meeting of the Planning Commission to order. I need approval of the order of agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion, motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, minutes of the meeting from February 4th. After review, I'll take a motion to approve.
So move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion on the minutes? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Brown bag, March 18th. We're not sure yet if we're gonna have one or not, but we'll keep you, Mark.
I don't think we'll be having a brown bag this month based on the fact that we're preparing for flood fighting. Maybe a little bit later we can give you an update on that.
Okay, thank you. Okay, moving on to the public hearing items. Item 1, the plat at Commerce on 12th, 5th edition, located at 5570 and 5590 13th Avenue North, has been withdrawn. Well, there'll be nothing on that today. Moving on to item 2A. Continue the hearing on the application requesting a zoning change from MR3, multi-dwelling residential, and DMU downtown mixed. Kylie.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Item 2A and 2B is titled 701 Brew Addition and is located at 702 and 706 12th Street North and 701 University Drive. The applicant, Chris Hawley Architects, is requesting a minor subdivision titled 701 Brew and a zoning change from DMU, downtown mixed use, and MR3, multi-dwelling residential, to DMU downtown mixed use. The minor subdivision will replat Lot 1 in the east half of Lot 2, Block 7, Harwood Addition, into a one lot, one block minor subdivision. 701 Brew Restaurant is located at 701 University Drive and 702 12th Street North, which is these two properties right here. The owner recently acquired the property located at 706 12th Street North as a way to provide additional parking to the restaurant, which was a concern of the neighborhood previously. The minor subdivision will replat the 3 parcels that the restaurant sits on into one lot. In order to avoid having 2 zoning districts on one lot, the applicant will rezone the MR3 parcel to DMU. As you can see, this is just some images of the lots as they sit today. Staff has not received any inquiries regarding this application. Staff is recommending approval of 701 Brew Addition based on the minor subdivision and zoning change criteria of the LDC. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Any questions for Kylie? One question. So we're going to extend the DMU, and again, just bring that into the DMU. Mm-hmm. And to do that, we have that right to approve that. Our board does.
Yes, you do.
Okay. Okay. Any other questions? Rocky?
I think this is good. I'm glad the applicant came back with additional room because I know that was a concern previously. I just had one question. Is there any sort of required barrier to the north between the house and what I assume will be a parking lot area?
Yes, residential protection standards are required. So they'll have to, their parking lot will have to be set back from that north property as well as the property to the west, and then a landscape buffer will need to be provided as well.
Any other questions for staff?
From what I understand, it wasn't required that second house be purchased for parking.
That's correct. The
Yes.
applicant did this on their own to provide it for
I just
their
wanted to
customers.
make that point clear.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions? If not, I invite the applicant to speak. If need be, any reason? Anyone who wants to talk to the applicant? All right, Chris, we'll give you a break. All right, any other, I'll open it up for public comment. Anyone from the public wish to comment on this, either for or against? Seeing none, I'll close the public comment. Any additional discussion, or are we ready to act?
I'll make the motion in the staff packet to approve the findings.
We've got a motion. Do we have a second?
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? If not, roll call vote, please.
Schneider,
Aye.
Sherling,
Yes.
Holtz,
Aye.
Stoffren,
Aye.
Morgan,
Aye.
Bachmeyer,
Aye.
Rosenberg,
Aye.
Tassa,
Aye.
Gunkelman.
Aye, motion carries. Moving on to item 3A, continue the hearing on an application requesting the plot of Brunsdale, second edition, replot of Lot 9, Block 1. Maggie.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Items 3A and 3B on your agenda are titled Brunsdale Second Edition. The subject property is located at 2851 University Drive South, which is, this is University, this is 30th Avenue, and then this is the existing dental office on the subject property. The applicant is seeking approval of two entitlements, the first being a minor subdivision entitled Brunsdale Second Edition, and the second being a conditional use permit for alternative access to reduce the number of parking stalls required on site. The existing limited commercial zone is staying the same. The proposed subdivision will replat one existing lot into two new lots. Lot 1 of the proposed plat will be accessed by a cross-access easement. Based on the owner's experience at the subject property, a reduction to the number of required off-street parking stalls is being requested. The property owner believes the parking ratio for a standard office would adequately cover the needs of patients and staff frequenting his business, which it's a dental office. The CUP would allow staff to review parking needs of the medical office use on Lot 2 of the proposed Brunsdale Second Edition at a ratio of 1 parking stall per 300 square feet of medical office space. There are also 3 recommended conditions to that CUP. The first being that medical office uses will be evaluated at a ratio of 1 per 300 square feet of building area. The second being that the conditional use permit will cease if the land use changes from the medical office. And the third being that the expansion of any proposed or existing uses will trigger a reevaluation of off-street parking required on site. Written notice of the application was sent to property owners within 300 feet of the subject property, and to date, we received no comments. So staff finds that all criteria have been met and are recommending approval. I'd be happy to answer any questions, as well as Sean from Moore Engineering is here to represent the applicant, and he can answer questions as well.
Any questions for staff? I have one. Are they looking to add on to the building?
There is a small addition to the dental office, and so the parking calculation that we've come up with for the CUP takes that in mind.
And that's what's triggering this?
Yes, as well as this section, this proposed Lot 1 will also be sold, and they'll create a small office as well.
Okay. They'd be building behind the dental office.
Correct, a second building, and the applicant did provide a rough site plan to make sure that even though it's a small lot, that use can fit the LC standards.
Okay, just trying to figure out why we were doing this. Any other questions for staff, anyone? Okay, invite the applicant to speak. Does anybody need to talk to anybody from, if needed? All right, I open up for public comment. Anybody from the public wish to speak for or against this? Seeing none, I close the public comment. Any additional discussion, or are we ready to act?
I'll make the approved recommended motion.
I have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Not. Roll call vote, please.
Schneider.
Aye.
Bachmeyer.
Aye.
Schirling.
Yes.
Stoffren.
Aye.
Rosenberg.
Aye.
Holtz.
Aye.
Tassa.
Aye.
Morgan.
Aye.
Gunkelman.
Aye. Motion carries. Moving on to item 4, the hearing on the application requesting a zoning change from SR3 single-family dwelling residential to SR5 four walls addition. You got this one too, Maggie?
Yes, thank you. So items 4A and 4B on your agenda are titled Four Walls Edition. The subject property is located on the corner of 7th Avenue North and 31st Street North. The applicant is requesting 2 entitlements, the first being a zoning map amendment and the second being a minor subdivision entitled Four Walls Edition. The proposed zoning change would rezone the lot from SR3 single dwelling residential to SR5 still single dwelling residential to increase the maximum density allowed per acre. And the proposed minor subdivision would replat the subject property into 2 lots. So currently, the subject property contains a duplex. There's an existing duplex on the property. And the owner is interested in converting that duplex into 2 single-family dwellings on individual lots. So for the conversion to be compliant with the land development code, the maximum density allowed per lot must increase from the existing 8.7 units allowed in the SR3 zoning district. Staff is proposing the SR5 zoning district because it increases the maximum density to 14.5 units per acre, and at this time, SR5 is also the appropriate zoning to accommodate single dwelling developments on smaller lots. So you'll see on the plat that in this case, that lot would be 3,517 square feet. Notices of the proposed changes have been sent out to property owners within 300 feet of the subject property, and to date, staff has not received any questions or comments on the application. Staff finds that all criteria have been met and are recommending approval, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have, as well as Mr. Schaefer, who's the applicant, is here as well.
I have a question.
Any questions for Maggie?
In looking at the drawing, and I actually drove over there today to look at the building, so there appears to be one long building there now. Is that the duplex?
Yes.
And that seems as though it is under construction at this point. There are new windows, and it looks like the northern part of it is all new. I'm not sure about the southern part.
I know that as part of the application, the applicant did have to make some changes to the structure to make it compliant with building codes and things like that. But the applicant might be able to speak more to that specifically.
Okay, no further questions for Maggie at this time?
No.
Okay. I'll ask the applicant to please introduce yourself.
Hey, my name's Charles Schaefer.
Sure. Okay. You probably just want to tell us what you're doing there?
Nope, I just wanted to come to this cool podium. That was it. Just have my own podium.
No,
I'm
not,
very excited.
not what you're doing there, but no,
Yeah,
what you're doing with the,
just Maggie stated it perfectly. It's just we're drawing a line down the middle of the map. We haven't changed the structure at all or anything like that. The torn up nature of the yard was replacement of both sewer lines, introduction of a whack box to be compliant with sewer and all these cool things that I have learned about. So that's why the driveway's torn up right now, and we're gonna pour concrete when it warms up a little.
gotcha. Any other questions for the applicant? Well, you guys are making this easy today.
I'd like to make a comment if I can speak. What you're doing seems to be a real improvement,
Thank you.
yeah, to the neighborhood. And if at all possible, you should do another building to the east.
Yeah, thank you. That actually just changed hands. That one's interesting. Hopefully, they've made some improvements and stuff. But yeah, we've taken a couple of 6-unit buildings over there, and changed over the resident population, hopefully in a positive way. And so, yeah, we're working on it.
Great. Any other questions? If not, I'll open it up for public comment. Anyone from the public wish to speak for or against this? Seeing none? Any additional discussion, or are we ready to act? Mary?
Thank you. Just one quick question. So am I to understand you're changing this from a duplex to 2 twin homes, basically? Kind of like,
Yes, ma'am.
okay, great, thank you.
All right.
Then I would make a motion to approve the request as submitted.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved in second. Any further discussion? Seeing none? Roll call vote, please.
Schirling,
Yes.
Stoffren,
Aye.
Holtz,
Aye.
Rosenberg,
Aye.
Tossa,
Aye.
Morgan, Bachmeyer,
Aye.
Schneider,
Aye.
Gunkelman.
Aye, motion carries. Moving on to item number 5. Hearing on an application requesting the plat of Aldevron First Edition. Megan.
Good afternoon, Chair and Commissioners. Item 5 is a minor subdivision titled Aldevron First Edition. It is located at 4040 and 4055, 41st Avenue South and 4137 and 4175 40th Street South. The application is a replat of all of lots 5 and 6 and a portion of lot 3, block 1, Woodhaven Plaza Addition, and auditor's lot 13 of Woodhaven Plaza Addition. Applicant, Mr. Matthew Thompson with Vogel Law Firm, is here should you have any questions. The applicant is seeking approval of a minor subdivision that would replat 4 properties into 1 lot to accommodate expansion of an existing facility. The subject property is approximately 9.9 acres. You can see up here it's bounded by 40th Avenue South and Great Plains Drive South. Aerial image here. This property may be familiar to the Planning Commission. Back in August of 2019, your commission approved a conditional use permit to address parking for the facility here. This is a relatively straightforward application with a consolidation of these properties into 1 lot. One thing that is a little bit unique here is that 41st Avenue South, which you can see right here, goes through here, was dedicated previously as a private drive with an access easement, and then it's intended with this replat that no longer be the case, that this access at some point will go away and the facility will expand over that property and continue to the south. Written notices of the proposed plat have been sent to property owners within 300 feet, and to date, we have not received any inquiries. For your quick reference, just a couple of images. The facility is undergoing an expansion on the north, closer to 40th Avenue South, and the future expansion is intended to continue south of the existing facility into the future. Staff finds that all criteria are met and is recommending approval. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Any questions? Anyone? See no questions. Invite the applicant to speak if we need to talk to. Any questions for the applicant? All right, I'll open the public hearing. Anybody from the public wish to speak for or against this project? Seeing none, I close the public comment. Any additional discussion, or are we ready to act?
I'll move approval staff recommendation.
I have a motion, is there a second? It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Bachmeyer,
Aye.
Schirling,
Yes.
Morgan,
Aye.
Rosenberg,
Aye.
Schneider, Holtz,
Aye.
Stoffren,
Aye.
Tossa,
Aye.
Gunkelman.
Aye, motion carries. We have an update from, that closes our regular agenda items. Is there an update from staff on flood fight, I guess?
Good
Good afternoon. In essence, maybe I can see if I can try dazzling you a little bit. The planning department's in charge of rounding up the volunteers for 2020's spring flood fight. The National Weather Service has predicted a 10% chance that we would hit 38.5 feet, and usually the city prepares accordingly for 38.5 feet. This year, our flood fighting efforts are going to be a little bit different because we're going to be consolidating with Cass County and West Fargo, jointly making sandbags at 2301 8th Avenue North. In case any of you guys are interested in making some sandbags, we will be open from Tuesday to Friday of next week from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And the schools have contacted us and done a really good job at filling in the school hours. We're still a little shallow in the mornings and the afternoons. So you can spread the word there. If you're interested in signing up any large groups, call 476-4141 and we can get you on the calendar so it looks a little more even. And if there's any questions, First Link is helping us run our flood line, which is 476-4000. In any event, any other questions, if you want to go to fargond.gov /flood volunteers. This is the website for 2020, and on here, the nice thing is there's a calendar kind of saying what's open and where we could use volunteers. That being said, is there any questions on that?
Mark and I were talking before the meeting. The weather forecast for the next, or the extended forecast, looks really favorable for all of us for maybe not having to do as much as we thought we might have to. So this looks good so far. So, any other questions for Mark? Anyone? All right. Brenda, no comments?
Mark did a good job.
All right. Nothing else? All right.
Oh, I have one thing.
Okay.
The Fargo Neighborhood Coalition is going to be having a meeting on Saturday at noon, and Aaron is going to be presenting. Do you want to just say a couple things about what you'll be talking about?
Perfect.
And that'll be at the Spirit Room, 111 Broadway.
Yeah, thank you. So I think I'm giving a high-level overview of our Fargo Core Neighborhoods plan, which, if you remember months back, I think we had one or two brown bags on that plan. So introducing that plan, we just got that plan kicked off last week. We can probably provide you all with an update at our next brown bag as well as far as how that plan is unfolding and kind of the updates on that as well. In addition, there's a couple other kind of development activities that are taking place, I think predominantly in the Roosevelt neighborhood. So just giving just a high-level overview of those projects as well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, seeing nothing else, I'll accept the motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Have a motion?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned.